Turning off my stream.
So, quick run through of the mech before we talk about any of the strats. So this is the end of E3, Memory's End. He's gonna spawn either at Alpha or Charlie, always away from Gaia, so gonna spawn right here.
It even has the sound cue.
Yeah, she does a sound cue and it's like positional based, so you can do it like an Ifrit dash where you like heard where Ifrit dropped. So you can like know where she's gonna spawn. Okay. So right here at the start, I believe what we have to do for the tanks, I believe off tank provokes first. So Jen is probably gonna provoke like as early as possible, and then you provoke afterwards, Jono, because she's like P2 E8S Shiva, so she's gonna do double autos. And Gaia doesn't auto at all, but we still need the off tank with main threat because the Acorns are aimed at first in threat of either boss. So you're gonna be tanking Shiva, she's gonna be tanking Gaia, but she needs to be second on threat on Shiva at the same time, which is a pain in the ass.
What a interesting way to do it.
Yeah. So right here she spawns and casts this thing is gonna spawn the crystal. Right after she casts this, you can move her. So you wanna center her up here. And then everyone's dead center because she's gonna do Akrais, which is she's gonna grow her wings, and where we're standing is gonna get blasted by the rays of light, so we just move out. Yeah. We're gonna talk about our spots later, but we are gonna move to different Indra cards. And then they're gonna cast Darklit. So this right here, when Gaia spawns, is when you press your 2 minutes. And then everyone's gonna do their 2 minutes, and you're gonna press mid right here at the same time. Your pots are also gonna come back right here, exactly at this point. That's why you pot early on the intermission. Okay, so the mechanic, Darklit. So if you remember original Light Rampant, we get the chains, and we need to make the bow tie for the towers. Okay, so we're gonna talk about how to set up for the bow tie, but like here, it already spawned as a bow tie. So this just works. So we just have the people with the tether go in the tower. So the remaining 4 are gonna be close to Shiva because she's gonna do Path of Light, which is the 4 baited Proteans. So we can't have the people in the tower taking those, so we just take these now. Immediately after the spreads, Gaia's casting Spirit Taker, which is the bonk where everyone needs to be spread. So we're gonna spread to fixed spots that we're gonna talk about. And then right after so Rodians, spread, and then we're gonna meet into light parties for these stacks that are gonna happen here. Right after the stacks, Jen is gonna bait Somber Dance, which is she jumps on the farthest target, and then she jumps on the closest target. So she's gonna invuln and take both. And that's the entire mechanic. It's really, really fast. A lot of stuff happens, but it's over really quick. So going again, Tethers towers, you spread. You really want to be like snappy with your movement. So as soon as like Path of Light cast bar ends here, this is locked in for the Proteans, so you can already start spreading. And then Spirit Taker lock, this is already locked for the spread. And then Hallowed Wing, so you need to go like either left or right. And be on your light parties. And Somber Dance right after, which is the tank bait. Something important here is the tethers, they're gonna stay for like 5 seconds. So like there's at least 1 or 2 GCDs while the tank is running out, where you kind of want to stay put. The most you can do is like run a little bit closer inside, but don't run in, okay? Never run in, especially if you're a tether during this part where the tank is baiting, because if you go too close, the tether is gonna break. And also remember to not go inside Gaia's hitbox while she's doing the double jump. I guess the next thing, just to talk about, so right here, I believe, yeah, Jonlo is gonna be out. So this is what we call the 7-1 split. So everyone's just stacking that center. Jonlo's gonna be out. You're gonna press a couple of mids, and then it's just like a 7-1 Akmorn split. It hits 4 times. And then everyone stacks for Mornafa. Mornafa is a hand of pain check, so bosses need to be 3%, 4% of each other. It's usually it's way easier than DSR if I had to. And like there's a second one that happens later on in the fight, but they're both dead at that point, so it doesn't really matter. So this is the only one where you need to kind of pay attention about the percentages. And usually we call out like if we need to swap to one of them. Usually as like the tank is running out is when we notice, oh, this one has higher HP. Okay, so we call for like a just focus target that one for a bit.
It has the same tether colors as DSR, right?
It does, yeah. So light or dark tether is gonna tell you which one it needs to be hit. Yeah. Okay, so this is what happens. Now let's talk about like our spots and what we're gonna do. So there's 2 main ways where we can of how we can distribute everyone, like where everyone's going, and it's basically we need to decide. We can either make so what we did on the other group is we made the Picto the anchor. So the Picto never moves from like basically 3. Or, which is the PF strat, is where the healers never move. So they have the healers anchored right here. And I'm fine with either. We can decide whatever we prefer.
I'm okay with either.
Yeah,
I have anchor for a lot of mechanics already.
It didn't look too healer intensive either, so.
So so what would happen is sometimes, I don't know if I have maybe this one. No, I don't swap on this one. So if it was like here where I have the tether, if the initial shape was an hourglass, I would need to swap with this person here is what we would have to do. So like, yeah, it isn't too bad for healers. Like stuff hurts, but you just like press mid at the start, and then you need to press one heal, one like big heal right here. And then it's like done for most of the mech. You're kind of just waiting for like the Akmorn stacks. So yeah, I don't. Anyone have a preference like you guys are doing with the other group? Do you have like a way you would probably do it in the other group? We could probably do the same thing, I guess.
No, I don't think we're doing really anything with that group.
I see.
That's planned quite yet.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I really don't mind.
So I guess we could just do the weird one where we do on the other group, which is we do like a completely different lineup. We do the Picto anchor, and like the healers are going to the different side, but it's just like
it looks like. Are we like spreading like we would for?
So yeah, so the supports are spreading exactly like Light Rampant. So like healers are going towards 2, tanks are going towards 1. The only thing is that the DPS can't do the corner thing. They need to make a conga line because the way the chains work it picks 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS. So you like guarantee there's 1 tether here, 1 tether here, but you don't know where the other 2 tethers are.
Yeah.
So that's why the DPS kind of just need to make a conga line.
So in that case, wouldn't it be better if we did the PF strat? So we don't have to conga?
You still have to conga in the PF strat. It doesn't look like it, but you still need to. Because like let's say M2 and M1 get the tether here. M1 would need to like, they're just going the tower, but like R2 would need to go over here for the bait.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I
so
guess, I mean,
DPS doesn't.
I think in the other group we would do the PS strat, right, Randy?
Yeah, we
Well,
would.
so I guess that would be my preference.
Sure. Okay, so
Okay.
let's just flip.
No.
So
Okay.
we flip this, guys. I guess it will be something
Can I
like
be the anchor?
this.
Sure.
No,
Great, thanks.
no, you
So
can't.
like for the Congo line, the 2 DPS on each far side would never flex, right? The other
It
side?
depends. So okay, so if we're doing the PF one, let me get the. I think I linked the thing. This one. Okay. So let me.
Ah.
Okay. So the idea is that so this is our setup. So 4 people are gonna get the chains, and the way to resolve it is you look at the initial shape. So let's just delete these people for now. So let's say it was square like this. So M2 and Tank 2 we need to swap spots. If it was the hourglass. So basically if there's a flex, the tank is always swapping. Okay, so if it's not a bow tie already, tank is always swapping, and then either this DPS or this DPS is gonna move. So if it's a square, it's this one, the right most,
Yeah.
and if it's a hourglass, the leftmost one.
Yeah, so can I be the monk?
You want to be right here?
Yeah.
Sure.
I do not mind.
You're still
Cool,
gonna need
thanks.
to like move like here if like you get tether, you know. Like-
But for like the baits
Yeah,
for
that's
like
fine.
no tethers, the one on the end of the Congo would never flex.
Yeah.
For no
So
tether?
yeah, so for the baits, I guess yeah, if you're leftmost, here you wouldn't move, and then here Arthur would never move. So let's say these people are the towers, then you would bait like this.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and you just, the main thing is that the DPS have to be like kind of fast with realizing like who is who and who is left, who is right, because you don't have that much time to get to the correct spots, and it's also during the 2 minutes, so just be wary. Like the late part of the 2 minutes here, yeah. So yeah, something else is that so the 2 stacks, they're gonna appear in one of the stacks is always going in a person with chains, and the other stack is always in a person without the chains. In this case, it's this DPS right here behind the boss. Let me see if I get I guess this one. Yeah, this is a good one. So if you see right here, so the way we're gonna do the light parties afterward is basically we want to do the 4 northmost people and then the 4 southmost people. But if you see, there's like 2 stacks on the same side. So the way we resolve that is that we are gonna swap the inner people that are not tethers. So here Corvus would swap with the DPS over here. So there's 2 spots where you can do this swap. You can either do it before the Protean baits, which is, I believe, what PF does. So right here, he would just move over here, and this person would move over here. On the other group, we do it late, and we just kind of like acknowledge in voice chat who's going to swap. Just because I guess it was easier at the time, but it's really either. So like if you can swap early, if you notice, oh, we're gonna need to swap, I think it's better if you just move. But just in case you're like, oh, it's gonna be too tight, I forgot to move, then you can just wait and swap afterwards. And just like say something, and we're gonna probably acknowledge it. And this is important because like the spread right here, let me just show everyone what the spread is gonna look like. This is a little awkward because okay, so yeah, so during this mechanic, there's the memory crystal right here up north. We can never hit this crystal with any mechanics during this phase. So the way we're gonna do our spreads is slightly different, because let me just let me actually get this one. This one's gonna be correct. Yeah, so disregard this one. This is the one we're doing. So the idea is that if you are a chain, a tether, you're going to the marker, okay? So there's the intercard markers. If you're tether, right after you get your tower, you go to the intercard markers. If you're not a chain, so the idea is that supports go out and DPS go in. And if you're on the healer side, you want to be like basically a little bit in front of the marker on that side. And if you're on the tank side, you're going that center as the DPS. This is a little confusing, but the idea is that the DPS are toward the center, the tanks are toward, the supports are towards the outside in this lineup. And the reason we did this spread is it makes it easier for the jump, or the next mechanic where the tank has to bait the jump. If we put her like close to the wall on the intercard, or like directly south, it gets a little awkward, and you can't really put it north. So this is just what people settled on PF. Of course, you don't have to be perfect with the positioning here. So like you can probably see here that like I kind of just move out. I'm not too worried about being like exactly right here, and this would be fine. I guess something important is right here. You wanna make sure that you move in. You might need to sprint here first couple of times to make it all the way to the stack. Yeah, that was probably a little bit confusing, but does anyone have questions?
I'm muted. Yes, I was about to ask.
Yeah.
If you go back to that footage of the stacks happening, can the stack be like almost close to the center line to make it easier?
So the north stack can't be here because it's a little too tight with the crystal. So the north stack definitely wants to be closest to the marker than the center.
Okay.
And the south stack can be towards the center. That's fine. And they can also just like pull a little bit more south. So even in the spreads right here, if you are south, you don't need to be in the marker. You can be a little more further south just to give more space for everyone else, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't need to be perfect about this. So just if you give some leeway, you're probably gonna like miss a GCD or something if you do that, but it's fine. You just want to be safe during this part. There's also one more thing that can happen, which is in this VOD, which is if you see here, right side is dangerous, but Gaia just jumped over at Bravo, and the next jump, so Somber Dance jumps on the furthest target. So this is only important really for Jen, who's gonna bait, but it's good that everyone knows that this can happen, because this means that she has to run back into the danger zone here too. So yeah, so you see how like the side thing went off, and then Corvus went to the same side where it happened, because she's like already over here, so he wouldn't have like enough time to be further away than everyone else if he went this way. Yeah, it's just little finicky. I'll try to get like a couple POVs of everything, but I think it's not too bad to understand what needs to happen. It's just, yeah, the execution here is definitely what's the hardest part of this mechanic. Does anyone have any questions?
I think I'm okay.
Yeah,
I
so
think I get the basics of it.
yeah, so I think we're just doing exactly the F strat and the lineup. We can have Connie, me, Serp, and then Arthur, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then supports, I'll let you guys figure out however you want to do. We can, when we get there, we can do a couple like RP on the marker things.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely helps.
Is this in the solo sim?
I think it is
Yes.
now, actually,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. It is.
Nice. Yeah, darklit. Oh, you can do like range 1. Guess you start from the stack. Yeah, she's gonna grow the wings out. This is already bow tie. Go here. I'm gonna spread. Then I'm going this side.
I love the squiggly lines.
And then the tank is not gonna kill us. Okay. Oh, there's Swappy. Wow. Oh, I guess you can even force tethers here if you wanna.
Mm.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can even set the 7-1. Okay.
Mm, yeah.
Okay. I don't think we're going over crystallized time today, right?
No, 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 no way. That's a whole can of worms. Yeah, a good thing here is while you're stacked up here, you kind of want to like look at your intercard so that you can like already run out. So here I'm gonna swap with this person over here. Yeah, move away. Hasn't. And then I'm gonna go over here for the spread as a healer. And then I'm gonna go over here as a stack. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess you can practice on the solo sim, which is pretty cool. Just make sure that you get the correct position